What's going on, everybody? Welcome to GmiasWorld, and today we're going to be debating Le'Veon Bell over Zeke day one in Madden 19 Ultimate Team. Now, the purpose of this series is to figure out how we're going to build the most successful team while not spending as many coins and continuing to grind solos and get our MUT bank so large that it won't matter what comes out. That's the whole idea. We're trying to lessen the amount of packs that we buy, which will also lessen the amount of stress that we have from pulling nothing and continuing to enjoy Madden early on throughout the year as we build our team. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and we're going to type in Ezekiel Elliot, right? And we're going to look at what his base card was this year. And we're going to try to figure out what it's going to be later. Ezekiel, right? Is that how his name goes? Okay, so it goes Ezekiel. Okay. So he was an 89 base elite card. Okay? So his base elite card was what type of speed? Okay, 87. Now, this is very, very high to start the year for an all-around decent back. All right? Now, this card was very, very expensive at the start of the year. So you have to remember, it's based on the claim. And these two right here, the cards that were picked for this debate, Zeke or Le'Veon Bell, I think is just a person that wants to know who I think is the better player in the NFL and not about launch of Madden 19. But either way, I'm going to let you guys know what I think about both players. I think they're both great players, but I will give the edge to Ezekiel Elliott overall. Because I just think Ezekiel Elliott is just more of a... he's a dominant runner. Like, Le'Veon Bell, he'll get it going in the game with the run game, the pass game. I think he's a more versatile back, but I think with the position of running back, that Ezekiel Elliott is a better running back. Like, giving him the ball, 20, 30 times a game, he's going to punish you. He's going to make it hurt, and he's going to do what he's supposed to do. And I know a lot of you guys are going to say, yeah, but his O-line and all the... Listen, Ezekiel Elliott is a dog. He's been doing it since college. It's not like he's just come into something that, oh, we didn't know it was going to happen. This man is a savage. So more than likely, though, both of the cards are probably going to be around the same price. Who would I lean for if I was going to go day one? Ezekiel Elliott. Because I think like the spin move, the truck move, the elusiveness, like I said, this one-cut thing, that's going to be huge in the game, okay? Just so you guys understand that, it's going to be huge in the game. So you have to keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be a situation where you're going to have to evaluate, do you want to deal with bigger, slower backs, or do you want to deal with, backs that are going to be able to... Hold up, is not going to be in there? How does he spell his name? Where is he? He's not there? Okay, so wait a minute. So Le'Veon Bell, you got to put the apostrophe or something in there? Hold on, let me see. Do we have... Let me see, Leveon. Let me see how they spell it. Is they going to do it like that? Okay, so there he goes right there. All right, so look. They're going to both probably be around the same price. Now, looking at Le'Veon Bell, he started off with a base elite, right? Core elite, whatever you want to call it, of a 90. But let's look at what's going on. He's two speed points slower, right? But overall, the card looks really, really good. The thing that I don't understand, though, he should have higher trucking. His trucking is very similar to what Ezekiel Elliott's is. I don't know if they're going to continue to do that going into Madden 19 because, I think Ezekiel Elliott should probably have a higher trucking. They're both in the 70s, whatever, but you're going to look at them and say, with the one overall higher, they're both pretty much the same card with the exception of the speed, which in my opinion matters the most. Because when you look at the elusiveness and you look at the juke move, you look at the spin move, they're pretty much the same. You know what I'm saying? But Le'Veon Bell is bigger. And like I said, he should have better hands. But with the catching aspect of the game, I don't think that that's going to matter much. Let me explain why. Madden 18, right? Earlier in the year, when the game was first out, right? Before any patch, there wasn't... Like, they dropped the ball, but not as excessive until after the first patch. Every patch after that, it continued to go downhill to where it got to the point where dudes are just dropping wide open possession catches. That's, in this case, right, if you're going to be a guy that likes to run around and, throw it out, to a fly to your running back, and you want to make sure that your running back is going to catch it more often than not, you might lean towards Le'Veon Bell over Zeke, but with the game itself, I do believe that not only is Ezekiel Elliott going to probably still, again, be faster than Le'Veon Bell, I think he's going to be overall the better running back in the game when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of whatever the base elite is, how they play in Madden, I think the edge is going to go towards Zeke Elliott. Just because it's Zeke Elliott, bro. like certain cards play a certain way. For instance, let's go ahead and use this example. Barry Sanders, right? The Ultimate Legend version of Barry Sanders, he was a glitch from the day he came out, and it wasn't because of anything else other than how small he was and how he was able to fit through certain things that other bigger backs weren't able to do. That's the primary reason why you could see that, you know, Le'Veon Bell, he is 6'1", right? And then you go to Ezekiel Elliot, and then you can see right here, he's 6 foot. You might say to yourself, yo, bro, that inch, it doesn't really mean much. But it does. Because if you have Ezekiel Elliott right now, and I've used him throughout the year, and, you know, rate sold him or whatever, you will see that he pretty much looks sort of like LaDainian Tomlinson, even though LaDainian Tomlinson's like 5'11". Let me check his price. Because they both look the same. There was no real, oh, he's 5'10". So, with the way that EA has it, he doesn't look 6 foot on the field, but Le'Veon Bell looks bigger. So I don't know if it's like just because of the way that when you actually view Le'Veon Bell in real life, you can see that he's a little bit lankier, you know, as far as like the way his height goes. And when you look at Zeke doesn't really look 6 feet. You see what I'm saying? Like he goes out on the field. It's like he's like a little tiny bowling ball, and he can just do whatever he want to do based on the way he looks in the game. And that adds to the performance. The one thing I can tell you about running backs in Madden, the shorter they are, the better they play in the game. And you guys all know that. And that's going way back into Madden. When you have the shorter running backs, they just do whatever they want. And that's, I don't know exactly why they do that, but it makes sense because, you know, like they're tiny, they're a little bit more elusive, etc., etc. So it works out like that. Now, also remember this, right? These cards are going to be power up ready. And you can pick and choose your chemistries, you know, based on the blogs that you guys have seen and stuff like that. So I've already released information about that based on the blogs that EA Sports released. So you can always pick and choose what you want these guys to be, what you want them to do, you know, how you want them to, you know, how you want them to perform. And it's going to make it easier to build your team. Now, if you're a Cowboy fan, obviously you could set it up to the way you're using the Cowboy chemistry and a lot of different things that go on into it. But we have to wait to see which one of the chems are going to be more suitable to what makes the game work better. What I mean by that is, if elusiveness is key, spin move, like how it was at the launch when, you know, every card that you had could spin move 19 guys. If it's like that, you're going to be looking for chems with elusiveness, spin move, stuff like that. If it's not, you're going to be looking for the chemistries that correspond to that. That's what makes your team what it's going to be. That's what builds your team in MUT. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is a crucial spending of coins early on in the game, and the value of the card remaining the same throughout the first month before you start to upgrade and do stuff like that. Because remember, you can also downgrade and then sell your base elite. You know, they change it up with power-ups. That way, if you're running low on coins, break down a card, get rid of it, get something else. So you can't really lose in that aspect. But as far as the upgrades go, it's all about what do you want from the card. What do you want? Do you want to, whichever one of these is going to be the lower overall, it won't matter because they're going to still sell for about the same price because they still have them at a, you know, they're pretty much the same back at launch. And that's something that people argue and debate all the time. I actually got into a debate recently in my stream about that when I said I would take Zeke over Le'Veon Bell, and they're like, no, Le'Veon Bell's the better back. You know, but, you know, most of those guys were Steeler fans anyway, so they're going to always say that. A lot of people are not objective depending on which team you root for. I'm letting you know so that it's clear. Whichever card is least expensive, you can't lose with this. This is something that you literally cannot lose with whatever card you pick. Now, would I go after a core elite like this in the start of Madden 19? Probably not. I'm going to find a card that's reasonable. It could possibly be gold. It could be even silver at the running back position because I'm not going to be looking to run the ball. But again, if you're able to pull this as a nat, like I got lucky in my solos earlier last year when it first comes out because I think they're going to stay along those same lines, have you grinding, whatever way they do it. They're going to give the grinders a way to get certain things done, right? So what's going to happen is this. With that situation, you're going to have to be able to, you know, try your luck. If you pull something that seems good, it's going to work out for you, bro. You know what I'm saying, bro? Don't sell the cards that you get that are auctionable immediately unless the value is extremely high. Some cards are going to keep their value for the first couple months. Some cards are going to go down within the first month. Doesn't matter. Whatever it happens to be, you're going to make sure that you make the best of that situation. So Le'Veon Bell, if you say you pull Le'Veon Bell and he's auctionable, right? If it's early, before everybody gets the game, he's going to be going for, you know, whatever, like 100K, whatever, because before everybody gets the game, people just want to sell cards. Once everybody gets the game, these elites, the first couple weeks, are going to be completely ridiculous. They are going to be completely ridiculous. So you're going to want to make sure that you hold on to the card at least until there's a lot of people on that's playing Madden. So you're going to want to wait until the actual release launch, which is going to be August 7th, before you sell this card. So the reason that I point that out is because a lot of you guys are going to have EA access. You're going to have, you know, the what's the name? You're going to have the Hall of Fame edition. There's so many different ways to get it early. Don't fall for the, you know, the prices that are available then. You have to wait until everybody gets it, because most people will wait because they don't want to spend the additional $20 or whatever it is. They'll wait until the actual release date to get it just to save that money. So with that being the case, everything goes up once everybody has the game. And I lost hundreds of thousands by not understanding that myself, because that was the first, Madden 18 was the first year that I got it like a week and a half early. So I didn't understand what was going on, and I got to see it for myself, the way that everything just skyrocketed from when you got it early to later on. So that's a huge thing that you should understand. Do not fall for that trap to where if you get the game early and you see, oh, he's going for 100K and I just pulled him, let me sell for 100K. Do not do that. Do not do that with any core elite. All of their prices are going to skyrocket once everyone has the game, which will be on or about August 7th. So in this case, this one, whoever chose this situation, you can't lose is my opinion on this. You know what I'm saying? Both of them are going to hold the value for the first couple months or whatever like that. Even what happens is in September, once week 1 comes, right, and they're going to give us that pre-week, the preseason team of the week card. Whoever that running back is, depending on what that running back's features are, whether they're more elusive, whether the truck is, and how the game plays with it. Like I said, as far as we know now, we have push to pile, we have one cut. So those things, we're going to have to see how it actually translates on the field, and that's going to correlate directly to the prices of the cards. So regardless of whichever way it goes, you can't lose with either one. Which one do I prefer? Is Zeke all day. I don't care what any of y'all say. I'm going Zeke. I would love to debate it with you guys. I'm going Ezekiel Elliott. I think regardless of the way Madden plays, he's going to be the overall better back in the game. Has nothing, you're like, bro, I don't care about the Cowboys. I think they're going to be the worst team in the division this year. If you guys don't know, I do podcasts, and you know, I'm on Spotify, I'm on iTunes, iHeartRadio. I do NFL podcasts all year. I don't back down from what I'm saying. I know for a fact that what my eyes see, like I'm pretty much seeing what's actually happening. And you saw a whole team collapse without Zeke Elliott, and you know, if Le'Veon Bell plays mediocre, whatever like that, that team is still able to overcome. Yeah, they got Antonio Brown, more weapons, whatever. But Zeke is the driving force of his team. And that's why he's probably overall going to be the better back. You know what I'm saying? Because he's asked to do a lot more. Even though you see Le'Veon Bell catching the ball at the backfield, doing all that stuff, Ben Roethlisberger has so many other options. Like, he could just pass the whole game without a run game and still dot you up. He literally did that in the playoffs last year. There was absolutely no run game involved, just dotting people because his receivers were so dynamic. So when it comes to overall run game, in the running back position, Ezekiel Elliott's going to be my choice. And I know day one that both of them are going to probably be priced around the same, regardless of who was the higher overall as the core elite. It won't matter. If you get a chance and you're willing to spend the coins early, I would go Zeke Elliott. You know, because I know his power-up is probably going to be crazy. And like I said, I was not a power-up fan, but now that we know that we could downgrade him, I see no problem with taking some time out, powering up Ezekiel Elliott to wherever he could be, and just going out and feasting and eating all day with him. That's my choice, day one. Let me know if you have any other questions. Keep throwing them out there, and we're going to keep this going. We'll figure out who the next two are, and we'll debate it here live at GmiasWorld. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to see you next time. One love.